Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Rob's That here on Rob Plays Games Time featuring Baby Girl. I know my dog Chloe's out here with me. A car pulled up that looks a lot like my wife's, so she thinks it's her, but it's not. But we are back with another episode of Rob's Thoughts. WrestleMania Night 2 just concluded. John Cena, I know, I'm wearing my Cody Rhodes shirt today. I kind of wore those backwards by accident. I meant to wear my Cody Rhodes shirt yesterday and my John Cena shirt on night 2 because I was definitely rooting for John Cena. Kind of messed that up, but it's okay. Anyway, let's see. Let's run through WrestleMania Night 2 because it just ended and it was fantastic. I'm completely blanking on what the first match. Oh no, first match, the women's world title match, the women's triple threat. It happened exactly how I wanted. There was a lot of this night, a lot of night 1 as well. Went kind of exactly how I wanted, how I predicted. So no complaints there. Big Rhea Ripley fan, big Bianca Belair fan, big Io Sky fan. I wanted Io Sky. I felt like her being they literally said it like 3 or 4 times. She's the third wheel. She's the third wheel. She feels disrespected. Yeah, she should feel disrespected. I felt like she should come out with this win, and she did. So good on you, Io, the genius of the sky. That moonsault she hit. So Bianca hits the whip smack, hits the KOD, how she's ended the last like 4 or 5 WrestleManias for. Like, this literally ended Bianca Belair's WrestleMania undefeated streak, I'm pretty sure. I might have to look into that one. But they didn't even mention that. So she hits the hair smack, hits the KOD, which she always uses to win, and then of course Io off the top rope. She didn't even hit Bianca with not the prettiest moonsault, the over the moonsault. Oh, yeah, you realize like half of the people are using a moonsault now randomly as their finishing move. But anyway, so she hits Bianca's got Rhea as the pin. She hits Rhea, and then Bianca just basically goes to, and then she pins Bianca and wins. I wanted Io to win, so I'm okay with it. But when you look at it in slow motion, she didn't even hit Bianca. But it doesn't matter. I don't care. It looks like Rhea got absolutely crushed on that moonsault to the point where she was getting helped out by the ref after the match. I hope she's okay. But great match, great spots. Those 3 very talented women that kind of signified that Io's going to do her thing. Rhea and Bianca kind of need to have their singles match, figure that stuff out. Bianca's got to figure out the whole Jade Cargill Naomi situation. Io can go do some other stuff for a minute, maybe come back to the Bianca and Rhea stuff down the line, because Rhea was the one who loses it to Io. Bianca lost to Io initially last year's WrestleMania with that cash-in, so the 3 of them have quite a bit of history together. But wouldn't mind seeing another matchup between any of the 3 of them. So no complaints on that one. What was after that? The Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest freaking killing each other match? Yeah, that was fantastic. Kind of like I said on my predictions video, didn't really matter who won that one. I knew they were going to just beat the absolute crap out of each other. As I was watching it, and I saw Damian Priest get played to the ring by Slayer's lead guitarist, immediately once I saw that dude start hitting the guitar band, I went, oh man, he's not winning. It was one of those things I realized as soon as I saw the live guitar guy, like, oh, Damian Priest is going to lose. He's got the way cooler entrance. And that's exactly what happened. Great match. They had the great spots. The Fusion Shock DDT off of the steel steps absolutely looks like it hurts way more for Drew McIntyre. I don't think that's selling. That's the one move I don't think he sells. I think he absolutely just Future Shocks him and is like, oh yeah, that sucked. You know, hits the Damian Priest goes for the old school. McIntyre throws him off the rope, top rope. So Damian Priest is big old dudes, you know, he's up on top of the ropes, gets pushed off and has to fall all the way down through 2 tables, and then Drew McIntyre murdered this poor dude, man. They had the steel. Oh, I forgot the camera's facing me. They had the steel chair set up in the ring with Damian Priest's face in front of it, and McIntyre literally just claymores him in the face, just murdered Damian Priest. But again, it was one of those matches where he killed Damian Priest. But if Damian Priest showed up on Monday Night Raw and was like, I'm going to challenge for Money in the Bank, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, you didn't lose that match. You lost a freaking war against an angry Scottish man. Like, that didn't take anything away from you. It was just one of those, like, it wasn't your night, man. It's like when you lose the Super Bowl, I don't automatically think that team that lost is absolute garbage. Like, they lost the Super Bowl. They're losers, yes, because they lost a game. They lost a match, but they're not overall a loser in general. They lost one thing. Like, see what happens next time. After that, the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. Oh my god, check out my prediction video, please. Did I call it? Can I book WWE? Like, please. A lot of my ideas are very, very similar to how WWE is starting to write them. It's very similar. Like, Triple H has a very booker-friendly mind for fantasy bookers like myself. Like, you can guess a lot of the stuff he wants to do because it makes sense and it's not stupid and it's a good, logical story beat going forward. Because, like I said, the Dominic, Finn Balor, like, it had to be that way. So, it could have gone through it. So, here's the scenario, okay? So, it was a Fatal 4-Way. Braun Breaker could have retained. He could have retained and pinned anyone, and it would have been fine. Penta, if he had won, he would have... pinning Braun Breaker would have been weird. Pinning Finn or Dominic, fine. Finn Balor, same thing. Pinning Penta or Dominic, fine. Pinning Braun Breaker would have been weird. And Dominic, kind of same thing. So it was like, if Braun Breaker lost, he had to lose by not getting pinned. That's how he lost. If Finn Balor or Dominic won, they had to do it by screwing the other over. I'm just going to say this now. I heard Simon Miller say this, or maybe it was the guys on Cultaholic. Shout out to Tom Campbell, who said, I think it was one of those two guys. I can't remember. They said Dominic Mysterio is going to accidentally turn himself babyface. He already did it. He's Eddie Guerrero 2.0. He's who we want to see. He's a Mysterio. We all love the Mysterios. He was over. If you listen to the crowd, it's the same thing with the Jey Uso. Lots of people want to poo-poo Jey Uso. He gets a catchphrase in an entrance, and every time he says that catchphrase, the whole crowd goes, yeet. And every time he does an entrance, that whole crowd goes, yeet. Dominic Mysterio was the same way. He had an entrance, people cheered. Everything he did in the match, people cheered. His initial kind of stab Finn Balor in the back moment, jump up, hits the drop kick in the back for the 619, goes for the initial 619, Finn Balor catches it. Everyone was cheering it the whole time, and what a lot of people, I did not hear Michael Cole or any of the announcers mention. So yes, Dominic did hesitate for a second when, and it was like, every man for himself, drop kick. As soon as Finn Balor catches it, picks him up and immediately not low blows him, but sweeps the leg, like, he didn't hesitate at all. Dom hesitated and was like, should I do it? I'll do it. I want the title. You know, it's a Fatal 4-Way, every man for himself, gotta do what I gotta do. Finn literally was like, boom, just instant, didn't care that it was his Judgment Day brother. Absolutely went at him. So, it was great storytelling. Did that fantastic. Absolutely perfect, and you know, getting from Braun Breaker absolutely looked superhuman in this match. The things he was doing were absolutely insane. He did this one jump freaking over 3 people and hit a penta, and it would look like he just murdered, like what was it, Pat McAfee said, I think he just broke the long jump record. Yeah, dude, the dude freaking flew. It was crazy. Braun Breaker with that Frankensteiner. The dude is too big to do the things he does so easily and so flawlessly. Like, I keep saying it, Braun Breaker's the future WrestleMania main eventer, I don't know, world champion. Yeah, dude, the dude's got everything. He can cut an interesting promo. The whole Steiner math thing he did was absolutely. He's like, oh, we'll take 12% of this, and we take that because he's half scared. And it's like, dude, he knows he's a Steiner, but he doesn't lean full into the Steiner. And it's literally like, this guy's over here saying, psst, you know he's a Steiner. And everyone's like, yeah, we know he's a Steiner, but he's not going to be a Steiner because we haven't said it on TV. It's like the whole thing Marvel did for like 10 years, back when Marvel was good, you know, before Infinity War, where they would do stuff and people would be like, that's the Avengers. And everyone was like, well, we know it's the Avengers, but they haven't done the Avengers catchphrases. You know, like they ended Age of Ultron with Avengers up, and then they cut the movie, and he doesn't say it till Avengers Infinity War. No, oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, the last one. You know, where finally, Avengers assemble. Ah! And then Thor goes crazy. Yeah, the WWE's starting to do that same thing where it's like, we're not going to just straight up tell you stuff. We're going to kind of hint at it and poke at it and like wink at it. And by wink, we're going to be like, hey, 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 wink. You know, that's how they wink at you. But it's like, for the people who don't know, they're just like, but for all those other people, we're just like, yeah, he's a anyway. So that was good. What was next? We had the Randy Orton match. So I was thinking, as Randy Orton's entrance was coming down, Randy Orton's making his entrance. It was right before he cuts the promo of, I'm Randy Orton, this is 20 WrestleManias, whoever you are, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm going to make a video real quick because I have a prediction. I was like, oh, I thought of it. It's going to be an NXT guy real quick. Oh, Trick Williams. I had someone else thought, right? And then I'm mad because if I had my camera out, I said it as it happened. So no, it wasn't a prediction. I'm not going to take credit. No, do anything stupid. But literally, Michael Cole, one of them said something about, say the name and I was literally like, Joe Hendry, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Oh my goodness. Absolutely. I'm absolutely devastated that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens could not have their match. I love Kevin Owens. Big fan of Randy Orton. It's very clear he has entered that legacy John Cena status where it's like, yeah, nobody wants it. Randy Orton's one of the best heels of all time. Literally, the Viper, the Legend Killer, the psychopath Randy Orton from the 2010s. Everybody loves it, but at this point, it's like, we don't want to see that anymore. We just want to see Randy Orton be funny and RKO people. And so it's like, who could you have brought out? You didn't want to debut anyone and immediately have him lose. You didn't want to bring out the Aleister Black. You didn't want to re-debut Aleister Black. You didn't want to re-debut Rusev, which I'm assuming what they're gonna go by. Sean Spears did leave and then come back as Sean Spears, so there's always the chance he'll come back as a Miro or a Malachi Black. I doubt it, but there's always the chance. But literally, as it happened, I was like, the perfect selection. The crowd went nuts. Everyone was over. Randy and him had the perfect match. Honestly, literally after he got all his moves in, does the pose one more time, and then gets RKO'd out of nowhere with the camera zooming on his face. It was a perfect match. Joe Hendry didn't need to win that match. He didn't need to have a 5, 10, 15-minute match looking strong, because he was, no offense, he was the replacement for Kevin Owens. And he was the one replacement that I was not disappointed to see. Actually, it was the exact opposite, because I was just going through the list of people, like, everybody you're going to bring out is going to be a disappointment. Even an NXT guy, like, it'd be crazy, but I thought it would be cool to give one of those guys a WrestleMania shot. They brought out Joe Hendry. Everyone went crazy, and as soon as I'm literally waving from my hands, I look at Chloe, my baby dog, and I just go, Joe Hendry's coming to WWE. This is the confirmation in my mind. Joe Hendry is a WWE guy. He's the TNA champion right now. They had the TNA World Champion on WrestleMania. First of all, let's that's ridiculous to even say. The fact that they mention TNA, the fact that it exists, the fact that their champion was on show. Joe Hendry's been on multiple shows now. Moose has been on the shows. The fact that they go back and forth. They mention Lucha Underground. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. And it's just one of those more reasons that I just want to say, Vince, like, dude, you were an old dude, you came up with a few good ideas, and at the end of the day, you were just an old racist B-word. So, now that your son-in-law is taking over, everything's so much better. Because, say his name and he appears, I believe in Joe Hendry. So that match, like I said, perfect. Hendry gets all his moves in, except for the one thing, like I said, after the match was over, I was like, I'm glad he went for the setup on his, the final ovation, does not hit the move. I did not want to see Randy Orton kick out of that. There's no need. Just an RKO out of nowhere, boom, 1, 2, 3. Because, that's the thing. It was the TNA champion. He still looks strong against Randy Orton because that's the whole thing. Randy Orton's RKO out of nowhere can beat anybody at any time. Like they did, that was the whole thing against even Brock Lesnar. It didn't matter. If you hit that RKO, Brock, you can beat my ass for 20 minutes. I hit that one RKO, I'm going to beat you. And so, Joe Hendry being able to... Oh, my God. Joe Hendry was on WrestleMania, dude. And that's the thing. A lot of you don't know this. I don't really watch TNA, but I'm a big Simon Miller fan from What Culture. Shout out to that dude. That dude's awesome. Progress Proteus champion. Still, hopefully. I hope you didn't lose to Stingray, bro. I know you had your matches over WrestleMania weekend defending your Progress Proteus championship, and one of your competitors, you were in like a like a 6-man, like a gauntlet, insane man match, like a crazy match, and one of your competitors was the dude who plays Stingray off of Cobra Kai. I hope you won. But anyway, why did I even bring that up? I don't remember now. Shoot. See, that's the problem with ADHD. You get real distracted. Now I remember, because the Joe Hendry thing. I saw Joe Hendry, because I was watching Simon Miller's Ups and Downs and What Culture, and What Culture kept having Joe Hendry, and Joe Hendry pops up on the not What Culture, on Cultaholic, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a match coming up against Simon Miller, and I was like, what the? Huh? What's happening? Simon Miller, you can have a match against Simon Miller. He says that because Tom Campbell, one of the guys I've mentioned a couple times, the host of their news show, was going to be the ring announcer because he does the ring announcing of the local shows there in England. So he's like, yeah, he's going to be the announcer for the TNA tour. And then they're like, yeah, Joe Hendry's going to have matches. And one of them's going to be, I don't know how I figured out it was against Simon Miller. Then I started watching the Walker stuff. I was like, what the heck? Why is Simon Miller having a match against this guy? Who is this guy? And then I realized that Joe Hendry was a much bigger star. And so after that, that's when I started looking into Joe Hendry stuff because of Simon Miller and What Culture and all that stuff. And I found out Joe Hendry's the best. I believe in Joe Hendry. Anyway, so that was fantastic. Did not mind seeing him lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania because, first of all, I can't believe I'm saying that I got to see Joe Hendry come out at WrestleMania, compete at WrestleMania. He got a match against Randy Orton at WrestleMania. It was fantastic. After that, we had the Logan Paul AJ Styles match, which here's the thing about that, okay? I like AJ Styles. I like Logan Paul, the wrestler. That's all I'm going to say about that. Art form, person, separate, please. Thank you. Okay, Logan Paul person. We're putting that over here. We're talking about Logan Paul, the wrestler, the character. I like the stuff he does. He's highlight reel after highlight reel, dude doing stuff he should not be able to do. His frog splashes, his buckshot lariats. Like, he shouldn't be able to do them. So I don't mind him being in big profile matches. You know, the Roman Reigns match, he was highlight reel after highlight reel. The Rey Mysterio match, the Ricochet match, the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. So it's like every time he's on the screen, he does something memorable to the point of where it's like, yeah, he might be a douche in real life or whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't know him personally. The wrestler's good. Let's watch him wrestle. And then it brings me to the Karrion Kross thing. Again, he's one of those guys who, after Cody left WWE, he started having feuds with Killer Kross, and I'm like, who is Killer Kross? Is he like supposed to be Killer Croc, like from DC? But what's going on there? Again, so I started getting invested in that, and I found out who he was. I was like, this dude's insane. And then he came to NXT, and I was like, Karrion Kross, and he was crazy in NXT. And then they brought him up to the main roster, and Vince McMahon put him in a gimp suit because Vince McMahon's a freaking idiot. And Vince McMahon, the same guy who wanted to fire Gunther, because he was like, I don't see anything. This guy is nothing. Again, my feelings aside about that. Karrion Kross helps AJ Styles, and then AJ, again, what's his reward? He's like, I got you, man. I took the brass knuckles. AJ pops him with the brass knuckles. So it was a nice swerve having Logan try to use the brass knuckles, but then win with something else. I don't love seeing one of the best wrestlers of all time lose to Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Yeah, don't know how I feel about that, but at the same time, it's one of those things where Logan Paul beat someone, I'm still more convinced than when Shane McMahon would beat someone. Especially real sweaty in his 50s. I'm a real MMA fighter, Shane McMahon. I'm going to go toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar and Matt Riddle, two legit fighters who can legit kick the crap out of me, Shane McMahon. Yeah, so I'd rather, like, Logan Paul's a young guy. He's very, like I said, highlight reel after highlight reel. So if he were to win, it's not that surprising. He's just kind of old now. So after that, we had the women's World Tag Team title match. I kind of touched on this in my predictions video. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez have been done a great disservice. It was nice to see Becky Lynch back. Missed her. Don't want to see her in a tag team again. So again, her being tag team champions again. We're gonna run the Trish Stratus storyline back again. I'm pretty sure. But she's going to be Trish Stratus this time, and Lyra Valkyria is going to be her. It's really all you can do. I mean, I guess Bayley got hurt or something. I don't know. I didn't hear why she wasn't in the match. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention. That's going to be really on me because I know that's what happened, that I wasn't paying attention to figure out why Bayley wasn't in the match. But the only reason I'm okay with Liv and Raquel losing is I'd like to see them, now that Dom has won his title, if they could both go into, like, and that's the thing, being in a stable together, it's weird that they'd go into single stuff because they'd be in the same division. It's not like Raquel and Liv could be like, well, I want to be competing on Raw, I'm going to compete on SmackDown, while Dom does what he wants with the Intercontinental. Like, that would be a cool way to do it, but I don't think they're going to do that. So, like, I just think Raquel doing all her stuff with Rhea Ripley a couple years ago when Ripley was just, unbeatable. Liv has been amazing since, and they're just getting jobbed out to, I'm still mad about the whole, I just don't like established tag teams losing to two single stars put together. And not only that, they're two single stars put together who I don't think Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch equals and outweighs Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez at this point in their careers. I'm going to be completely honest. I've seen Raquel have matches with Rhea Ripley and almost wouldn't beat her for the title. Liv Morgan is a multi-time women's champion, Money in the Bank winner. So they're up here. Becky, of course, GOAT. Lyra's down here. So two up here's versus one here and one here. These two should win. And then they lost the titles to not only that, a re-debuting Becky Lynch, a tag team who's never fought together, but because it's Becky Lynch coming back at WrestleMania, they win. Again, like I said, I hated the build up to this. I hated Bayley, that whole crap. Unless the only thing is if Lyra took out Bayley herself, and that's why Bayley couldn't be her partner. She took her out to get a replacement of Becky Lynch. That would be cool. And then if her and Becky Lynch team up and be super heels together, and we will rule the women's division, not just the women's tag team division. I apologize for this accent. I don't really know how to do an Irish accent. Yeah, I apologize for that accent. But that would be cool if they don't do a tag team like the traditional, we're tag team, we're friends. Oh my god, we break up and we feud. Like, I'm just kind of tired of seeing that. After seeing Matt and Jeff do it for just years, Edge and Chris, like, I'm just kind of tired of it. So that's why I don't like when certain tag teams get together, because I'm just like, you're kind of just thrown together to win a title, hold it for a few weeks, few months, and then break up and have that angle, which I feel is like what they're doing with Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch. But tis what tis. And then I believe, if I'm not forgetting a match, that brings us to John Cena. Mr. 17-time world champion. I'm just gonna say it right now. Well, what was the whole thing with, where was The Rock at? I mean, that they mentioned him for the first time tonight that I can remember. Mainly they mentioned him because Travis Scott came back in the middle of the main event, which is weird. Dude, this ref bump was like 10 years. Like, it wasn't even, like, I know the whole ref bump trope. The ref gets bumped, he's made of glass. But it wasn't even like a good thing. It was like a bump into the turnbuckle. So he should have been up pretty quick. But no, this dude was up. He was down for a whole Travis Scott entrance, which Travis Scott took freaking forever to get to the ring. Didn't mind the whole Travis Scott interactions, but just the ref being down for so long, that part was annoying. John needed to, like, I have no other complaints. John just whooping Cody's ass. Excuse my language for better terms of it. He just beat him. He had Avalanche AA. He had, what, 4 AAs on him? Locked him in the STF for a while. Like, he was just beating the crap out of him. Travis Scott comes down, does the thing. Cody holds the title. Should I be the good guy or should I be the bad guy? Cena doesn't even give him the time to react. He's literally like, no, Cody, no, please don't hurt me. Literally just acting, because before Cody can decide, because normally, they get the second the heel goes, oh, he goes from that, does the evil look, and then reacts. Literally in the half second while Cena's still pleading with him, Cody literally is looking at him. It takes half a second to look at the title. John just, boom, hoofs him in the nuts. AA literally grabs the ref and is like, I'm winning this title. Does the lazy pin. 1, 2, 3. Cena is your 17-time world champion. I'm fine with everything about it, except for the fact that it was like, why did you do the whole thing with The Rock just for The Rock to not be there? That was kind of weird. But other than that, Cena winning, Cena dominating Cody. Didn't mind that, because it literally was one of those things where it was like, you can't wrestle, John. He was like, fine, I'm not going to wrestle. I'm going to beat the crap out of you. So it was just lariat, punch to the face. And like, the thing he was doing that was interesting that he never really does is he was doing a lot of big boots. It literally looked like he was like, hey, so everyone thinks I'm Hulk Hogan. I'm gonna wrestle like Hulk Hogan just to piss everybody off. But the funny thing was, the whole night, everything John did was just wee. So it was like a lot of the things people thought you were gonna not cheer. Dom got cheered. Cena got cheered the whole match. So I don't think it's anything to do with Cody, but I do think they could use this as a catalyst for a heel turn. Him losing, I do think he's gonna eventually win the title back and then do the feud with Randy Orton. I think Cena and Orton are gonna feud first now that Cena's got the title, because I'm sorry, but Cena versus Orton final time at SummerSlam, I'm gonna call it right now. That's the main event of SummerSlam. Cena Orton for the title. Cena Orton is this generation's Hogan, not Hogan, names please come to brain that I want. Rock Austin, Cena and Orton throughout the 2000s. Jeez, I can't words right now. Throughout the 2000s, throughout the 2010s, it was them. They had the unification match 10 years ago. I think they're going to run it back one more time. Cena retires, beats Randy. Then Cody takes the title from Cena, and then they do the Randy turn on Cena. No, the Randy turn on Cody. That's just how I'd book it. But I will call right now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I will call Cena versus Cody. God, words. Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Main event of SummerSlam. Wait, hold on. Just kidding. So that was my prediction. Not SummerSlam. Backlash is in St. Louis. There's a good. Okay, so here's a new prediction. Then Cena. It's gonna go Cena versus Orton at Backlash. Cody takes it back from him at SummerSlam. What's that? A 4-month reign in August. So you can have it April, May, June, July, August. 5 months ish, 4.5 months of a Cena title reign. I think that's fine. Cody takes it back so he can beat Randy. He can beat Punk. You know, he can run the plays back. Maybe he can even turn on The Rock probably at SummerSlam back to go back good guy again. And then he ends the last couple. You know, that would be what, August, end of September. He's planning to retire in December. So then that gives him 3 more months again as the babyface to end the career completely. You know, he's gonna do the summer of heel Cena, and then that's my prediction going forward. But other than that, great show. Night 1, great. I do remember I forgot to talk about a match from night 1, but it's okay. I hope everyone does enjoy this video. Leave your thoughts about what you saw on night 2, night 1, whatever. You want to talk wrestling, you want to comment on what I said. If you disagree with what I said, if you have an insane booking idea that you think is better than mine, let me know down below. But don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notification bells so you're always up to date on when I'm posting new content. Other than that, hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. Say bye, Chloe. No? Okay. Later, taters.